What's up, YouTube? And cheers. Today, we're looking at this beast. This beast of a knuckle duster. We're going to start out with the weight. Okay. That's pretty sizable. Or substantial, I should say. That would make more sense. This is my semi-initial reactions. I mean, I've had them out for a little bit. We're also going to go with checking out okay. Gotcha. All right. How big is it in total? Okay. We'll do more measurements. If you don't like fractions of inches, go back to Europe, Eurococks. And then what else? Oh yeah. This isn't helpful. This is not a helpful measurement. We're gonna change it to make it more helpful. So a little short of a half an inch, but probably nothing to write home about. So we're gonna talk a little bit about philosophy of use, how awesome these are, how East Coast Knuckles is not going to make these anymore, so I snagged one, and you should probably too, if you like, if you like things that murder in Minecraft. So, obviously, these look a little bit like big Lincolns. I don't have any Lincolns yet. Look them up, but this is a really big piece, which is cool. I like big pieces because you can wear gloves. Maybe not straight up like leather work gloves like you're on the farm. Although with these, you might be able to, honestly. It would kind of depend on the glove. So this is kind of like a force multiplier. I mean, the whole thing is, but this tip. Obviously, first and foremost, probably get out of the way. I don't think that these would work like this. I realize there's a more popular YouTuber, I don't know if he's more popular. He has more subs though. That he recently bought his first pair of Knuckles as like a 40-year-old man. It's just amazing, dude. I bought my first pair of Knuckles as 15. From Brass Armadillo. I went on to join the Marine Corps, did a combat tour of Iraq. I was in the Marine Corps for a while. I also was a secondary black belt before I joined the Marine Corps. I'm probably still a secondary black belt. It's just that I'm way out of practice. And I used to fight nationally, which I guess is neat. I went on to be a bouncer. I'm pretty familiar with applying force to people. I stopped counting people I've maced at 100, and it's over that. I don't know if it'll ever crest 200 because I don't really mace many people anymore, although occasionally. But that'd be it. If God exists, he'll probably it'll be like the Xbox. Like, you have unlocked this. Like, I'll get up there and he'll be like, "Oh, you have just maced hundreds of people. You're at the front of the line now." And then he'll let me cut everybody, obviously. I really like that. It's a good little touch. These are awesome. So they kind of want to just ride the crest. These are going to fit big hands. So this thing, Obviously, you could do a hammer strike, and this is very pointy, to somebody's skull, and it's going to kill them. Besides just doing that, what you could also do is kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever done any real knife training, where the very simple motion. One of the first things that they drill is that circular motion where you're coming forward and you're presenting the blade. You're not just pushing, but you're also cutting, right? Because push cuts, if you ever watch like Japanese cinema or Aido, or I don't know, man, dude, you're wanting to cut and draw that, right? So they got that circular motion, so you're cutting. It's a gross motor movement as well, which is very helpful. Once the adrenaline hits, you lose the fine motor skills. I realize that not many people talk about that kind of stuff on YouTube, but it's mostly because they have no idea what a fight is, and they probably just sit around masturbating most of their lives. But that's not what happened in my life. And I can tell you that this, say, you're squared up on somebody, right? Your hands are up, because unlike everybody I see in the gym training, you realize you got to keep your hands up the entire time. So you're not going to train with your hands down. You're going to be smarter than these people that I see. So say you jab or whatever, dude, you're going to make the gross motor movement forward and you're going to plant this in their face. It wouldn't, obviously this motion would be better. You could also, it's going to hurt no matter what, but this would shatter a cheekbone, definitely knock teeth out. You could put an eye out with this fairly easily. I mean, it's going to be just wrecking them. They're going to be hurting, and if not on the way to the hospital, then definitely, or I should say, if not on the way to the morgue, then definitely the hospital. Besides just loving to murder aspect of this, there is also the aspect of now, well, obviously brass knuckles, you can punch, right? You're going to punch. I realize that's somehow in the land of social media influencers pretending to be hard. Somehow they convinced, there is a large, contingent of these people. They don't think that you should punch, which is what? What? It's like grabbing your crotch and being like, I don't think that I should thrust. How are you going to use it then? But so beyond that, you could punch somebody's arm, potentially break their arm. Rib strikes are going to be extremely painful. They're going to be the fight ending. But say somebody's coming at you with a bat or something like that. They swing and miss, and then you, as hard as you can, smash this down on a joint. The bat, I would almost guarantee, is going to get dropped. You just disarm them. So there's all these things. Use your imagination. Maybe look up stuff on the internet. Go to a gym. Actually take some martial arts classes that aren't BJJ. The reason that guys like Sean Strickland, if you watch him pull up on people in traffic and he's like, no knives, no guns. Well, I mean, if he was smart, he would just not do stuff like that, because that's how you get killed. But it's because a lot of these guys, dude, they know they're not stupid. They're not going to let you stab them to death. You know what I mean? So they're like, please don't, come here and let me submit you. Well, that's never going to happen in my world, folks. You would literally have to BJJ me in the shower. I guess you would be BJing me, maybe, in the shower to fight me unarmed. That's it. That is the only time I am unarmed. And even then, I guess I am the weapon, right? One mind, any weapon, so to speak. You're going to have while this is awesome in a courtroom, this will definitely get you convicted of bad things. So you're going to have to be able to prove that the amount of force you used was justified. I would recommend that you have a plan that has to do with the escalation of force. You have an articulable plan that involves like a potential egress, you're gonna have to give. This is what I'm getting at. You're gonna have to give people a chance to run away. You can't. You're not. You're just like slaughtering them like a hog in public, which is really what happens when you use weapons on people that are unarmed. You know what I mean? It's they're all of this like, oh, I'm gonna do this to you and blah blah blah. Even if without weapons, eye gouge, rip their ears off, tear their testicles off. Those are all things. If a baby holds onto your ear, like let's pretend that a baby could really grab on, and you drop that baby, your ear's coming off. Straight up. That's truth. We just don't. We are so far away from the primal beings we used to be. We no longer tear people's ears off. We don't really ever gouge their eyes out. We don't tear off their testicles. You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of very soft targets on your body that I think you would just go into shock. I don't know if you would die from it, but anytime you go into shock, you definitely can die. So potentially. And going into shock is like you could potentially shit yourself. Your body shuts down. I've never been in shock, thankfully. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I got in a bad motorcycle accident and broke all the ribs on my left side, and it was not good. I was sweating bullets, clammy. I still rode the bike home. It was rideable. But you know that I don't know if that's bad enough to put you into shock. I also might be fairly resistant to shock. I started training martial arts when I was 6. So that doesn't make me like Billy Badass, but potentially, I don't know. I can take a beating. Believe me, I've taken them. But so you are going to have to really think about, so this guy came at me, or like, you know, he pursued me in some wild car chase, and so I got off the road and I pulled over somewhere to let this dude go. He's gonna drive in front of me, and then I'm just gonna drive the speed limit. He's gone, but he follows me in and he jumps out and acts like he's gonna mess my car up. So I jump out and I have mace and I mace him, and somehow, unlike every single person that I have ever come in contact with that I've maced with, not just OC but CS, and this stuff is like super strong. I used to use freeze plus P, and I've never had an issue. It's literally incapacitated every single person that I've maced with it, and that's a lot of people. Let's say that doesn't work. This guy is like immune to mace, which is not possible, by the way. But they're immune to mace. And so now they're pursuing you even more. And, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to go on and create some insane hypothetical. You are going to need to be able to articulate to the authorities what happened, especially because, I mean, honestly, if you were to end someone's life, there's a good chance you're going to have to prove, or at least convince a judge or a jury, hey, you know, like it's a stand your ground state. Self-defense is an affirmative defense. I am not saying this didn't happen. I'm saying that it happened and I was justified. And let me tell you why. Escalating force in a way that makes sense is really going to help you. 100% is going to help you. Because you're going to be able to say, you know, Your Honor, I didn't want to crack this dude's head open like an egg. I tried to get away. I tried to egress. And first of all, I tried to get away. And then he kept coming. And let's say he got in my face. I pushed him off. I gave him a good push in the chest. Pulled out my mace. He kept coming. I mace him. And then eventually, you know, things keep getting worse. This guy won't stop. He's doing crazy stuff. And eventually, you know, you got to put him down. I'm not saying that you're wrong. And I'm also not saying that it is correct, I guess, in some ways. Better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. But I just don't want to see anybody, you know, do some serious bid for, you know, maybe manslaughter. You know, you're going to have to be able to make good decisions. So obviously somebody breaks into your house, if you're in a castle doctrine state, you can probably go to town and get away with it, right? Unless like something crazy, I don't know. This is where you need to familiarize yourself with the laws where you live. It would probably behoove you to lock on a defense lawyer a defense attorney that is very familiar with assault cases, with serious bodily injury stuff. You got to be smart, folks. You got to be smart. That's all I'm saying. These things are like the Terminator. When I get a Gillies, custom in my hand, I hear God telling me to punch someone in the face. This, I don't know. It's a crazy feeling. I don't think everyone feels it, but with this, you could do a lot. Say a bear got a hold of your friend and has like got your friend by the leg and won't let go. You could take out a bear with this. I mean, I'm not saying on a one-on-one fight, they would have to be latched onto something. But say like in a grizzly man scenario where the bear is gnawing on somebody's body and you run up and you plant this through their skull, obviously they're dead. There's a lot of things you can do with these. I mean, this is a tool, right? It's a tool for the application of force. But you need to know how to apply that force in ways that make sense. You need to be able to articulate that in ways that make sense. You need to be, I would say, you need to be able to show a clear escalation of force on your end that isn't somehow out of the realm of, this happened, and so I reacted in ways that were logical. I applied force. I replied with applying force, in ways that are measured. I wasn't just going to town. I mean, honestly, like, say you square up with somebody with these, they got their hands up, let's say they're drunk, they're moving slow, you could just plant these right through, I don't know, it would definitely break fingers. It would definitely, if you get them on the back of the hand, oh my God. But yeah, these like open up a lot of things that can be done. Yeah, so listen, I don't make these. I'm not saying I'm an expert maker, but I would say I am an expert at applying force. And I mean, I recently applied force to somebody. The cops wanted to bust me for having brass knuckles. Oh, they're legal now. They were not happy. Luckily, I applied force in ways that made sense. I maced the person and then I stopped, right? Had I beat this person senseless with brass knuckles after I maced them, I'd be in jail right now. Straight up. So you gotta, and like I said, I don't keep track anymore. That person is probably around 160th, I would say, probably. But who cares? Who cares? What kind of thing is that to brag about? You sound like a psychopath. Anyway, that's been all she wrote for this one. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Hope you folks have a great rest of your day. Oh, also, I know East Coast Knuckles has some more of these. They're around 150. This is like the slimmer version. He's got a chunkier version. It probably weighs even more. Hit him up. I'll put his Instagram down below. His prices compared to others selling very similar things are very reasonable. They're like a fraction. So, yeah, check it out. All right, folks, that's it. Bye-bye.